This is HSSOM Hossam, and today we're going to talk about a news that came out last night and was pretty stunning. According to a Fightful Select report, Sheamus is set to leave WWE after his contract expires very soon. He wasn't released from the company or anything. Actually, WWE approached him with a restricted contract while he was out with a shoulder injury, but he swiftly rejected it. On the other side, when you go to his social media accounts, whether it's Instagram or X, you're gonna see his name changed to S. Fairley, which is a reference to his real name, Stephen Fairley. And like I said, it came out last night, it was pretty shocking, but at the same time, it wasn't really that shocking. Because when you think about the term WWE lifer, you think about guys who have been in the company for a long time. Names like Randy Orton, The Miz, Sheamus, or even Kofi Kingston, who left the company 2 months ago after being there for like 20 years. And Sheamus also has been in the company for nearly 20 years. He signed with WWE in 2007, and he made his first WWE TV debut in mid-2009. And when he arrived to the main roster, he was pushed to the moon. Just a couple months later from his debut, he was beating John Cena for the WWE Championship at the TLC pay-per-view. But like over the past few years with the company, he really hasn't been used properly. Of course, despite putting banger matches when he got the chance. Like I remember his feud with Gunther for the IC title. They delivered classic matches, especially that Clash at the Castle match was fabulous. And also the triple threat match at Mania with Drew McIntyre and Gunther. And so many other matches like Ludwig Kaiser, like he had a lot of banger matches, but usually he really wasn't used like in major storylines. But I think the story that should have been told, that a lot of people were waiting for and a lot of people were excited about Sheamus for, is eventually to win the IC title and become a Grand Slam champion. But along the way, it seems like WWE dropped the ball in the story after the Gunther stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, like Sheamus, like he accomplished almost everything. He's been 4-time world champion, United States champion, a tag team champion alongside with his former buddy Cesaro or Claudio Castagnoli as the Bar, which they have an amazing run as a tag team. They delivered so many great matches. And what else? He won the Royal Rumble, like Money in the Bank, King of the Ring. He done it all except for, as we know, the IC title. Also, it's pretty stunning that Sheamus' last appearance in WWE was back in November 2025 on John Cena's last Raw appearance when they teamed together alongside Rey Mysterio against the Judgment Day. And as we mentioned, he has been out ever since, dealing with a shoulder injury. And again, like, the question here is Sheamus not happy with his status in the company? Judging by like his last X posts, it seems like the story of him not winning the Intercontinental Championship was really bothering him. And it's really understandable, It's really frustrating that WWE dropped the ball on that story, because in my opinion, I think he should have continued his storyline with Gunther and eventually taken the IC title from him. And yeah, they delivered great matches, like I said, like bangers, like Sheamus would say. But man, like, at some point they should have pulled the trigger, but they never did. And like I said, it's pretty frustrating. And at this point, why Sheamus is not going to renew his contract? Well, the reason behind that is going to be a bunch of speculations. And that's all what we can do right now until Sheamus eventually decides to talk about this. And I would like to point out something that Dave Meltzer has said regarding the news about Sheamus and TKO's rationale for recent contract negotiations. He said the following: the TKO thing from talking to people there on this and other situations is they are very willing to pay really giant money to people who they perceive as the stars, like a sports team. But when it's older wrestlers who they perceive as being on their downside and have big contracts, they're very much like an NFL team that would go rather than pay a guy a giant salary who is on the downside. We would rather spend our resources on somebody younger who also we can pay less to. This was Dave's take on this. Sheamus is 48 years old. He's pretty much approaching the end of his career. He's not going to be around for too long, because there is a lot of speculations about if he's really done with WWE, that maybe eventually he's gonna join AEW. And it's pretty fair speculations if that's end up to be the case. Like, there's so many talents in AEW that I think a lot of people would love to see Sheamus mix up with. Because Sheamus honestly like the kind of wrestler who could like fit anywhere if he decided to go to Japan or decided to go to TNA, wherever, like his style could fit anywhere. And also don't forget his former tag team partner, Claudio's over there, also Edge is there. Edge, or Adam Copeland, has his last WWE match with Sheamus back in 2023. And also there are plenty of dream matches that I think a lot of people would like to see, me included. Him with Will Ospreay or Kenny Omega or Hangman Adam Page or Swerve Strickland or Darby, the list goes on. And I'm sure they're gonna be an absolute bangers. So regardless what happens next for Sheamus, hopefully he recovers well from his injury. And that was regarding to the Sheamus news. Let me hear you guys, what do you feel about this news? What do you think are next for Sheamus? Where do you like him to go if he done with WWE? And finally, if you like my content, I would appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel, like this video, and follow me on Instagram. Thank you guys. Assalamu alaikum.